Hi YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ricky or Hailiiz and I do art stuff. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing the full process of my Rogue fan art. This is the 90s version of Rogue. I absolutely love it. The colors are great and I did not pick to do this. My wonderful, beautiful, amazing patrons pick once a month which fan art I am to do, and they've kind of been picking Rogue. Rogue has been in the poll for like a long time, but she finally made it in the month of June, and I'm really proud of how she turned out. So while we go over today's process video, I will be talking to y'all about what I look for in a reference, specifically the 3 top things that I look for. A couple of announcements before we get started. Firstly, this video is being filmed on July 9th. However, it is being posted on August 5th, and at this moment, I am in Indianapolis. I was very lucky enough to be able to go visit all of my friends for the first time. As of July 9th right now, I'm super nervous. So essentially the story is that if you watched the video with my best friend Ellie, you might know how we became friends thanks to my aggressive nature and Twitter and Dungeons and Dragons. I have been playing with all of these friends for like 2 years now, 2.5 years or something like that, and we all talk like 1 to 3 times a week, but certain ones I talk like almost all week to. They're my best friends and I love them dearly, but we've never met in real life. So right now that I'm posting this, the 5th, I will be meeting my friends for the first time on August 3rd, so I hope all is going well. Good luck to future Ricky. In regards to this announcement, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who grabbed commissions or joined the Patreon during the month of July. I know there were a lot of people who specifically were picking up daily sketch commissions to try and help me be able to afford the trip and have a good time and be able to, you know, get food and all that good stuff. So while I am in Indianapolis, we are going to Gen Con. It's my first like large convention that isn't just a local one. So I'm really excited. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to everyone who reached out to be able to commission me or join Patreon specifically to be able to help me with that. I really appreciate it. I love you guys so much, and I really hope future Ricky's having a good time. I'm sure she is because my friends are all wonderful. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So, like I said, today we are going to be talking about what I look for in a reference, specifically the top 3 things that I am looking for. Number 1, and in my opinion the most important, and I definitely feel like it trickles down to the other 2 tips, it is looking for a more dynamic pose, less stiffness. Now, this isn't something that you have to do. There's definitely a lot of portrait work and other such things that, you know, there isn't a lot of wiggle room for something too dynamic. So, as I was saying, looking for a dynamic pose, no matter how much of the body you are seeing, or even just a good feel, a good flow to your piece is really important. It's definitely interesting to go back through all of my saved photos on Instagram and all of the references that I saved for myself that nowadays I would think are too stiff, that don't look as natural as I would like them to be now. Now again, this is, you know, art is in the eye of the beholder. You can do whatever the hell you want because you're the artist. I'm just telling you what I look for in a piece. There's definitely a lot of pieces that I still do that are stiff, whether I meant to do it or it was simply an accident and things just got a little stiff. Looking for a dynamic pose is just icing on top of the cake. And very helpful starting point when you are looking for references. It also helps to have an idea in mind in how you kind of want to do it. Sometimes if I don't have that idea in mind, I will just scroll through a bunch of images. I have a bunch of purchased references from Graphite Studios. I have, you know, just my Pinterest or my Instagram, just an idea, and then I go from there. My second, and to me this one is quite important as well, but it definitely has to do with the dynamic in a way, is a nice silhouette. I want to know what it looks like if I take the drawing and I turn it all to one shade, like a shadow or a silhouette. I want it to still be interesting to the eye. I think this really helps, especially when you're doing like an illustration, and overall it can really bring interest to your piece. Even if you're just drawing hair, and a lot of my patrons have heard me talk about this when I am doing my hair tutorials, and that is having a nice silhouette. So looking for a good silhouette in a reference is wonderful and another great starting point. My last thing that I look for and also create is a Frankenstein. I think a lot of artists probably do this. I'm not sure if they also call it a Frankenstein. It's just, it kind of makes sense to call it that. So for example, for Rogue here, I had an idea in mind. I know that she has a tough life, but she's kind of badass, and I kind of wanted to make it look like she was running, flying through the air, and there was movement, and she was looking back and like smiling or laughing at someone. Maybe they're slower than her. I wanted that idea, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to execute it, and I could not find the exact reference that I needed. Now, I'm not going to show you all the references separately because some of it is like a purchased reference, and I don't know if I have the right to just share that. However, with this Frankenstein, it is a handful of different photos that I have put together to make the reference that was in my mind. So in this Frankenstein that I have made, there is a total of 3 different photos, and then myself obviously doodling over top of it. So the body is a reference that I purchased from Graphite References. They're really wonderful. I quite like them. There's so many packs that you can purchase. I was looking for, you know, like a more muscular woman in a movement pose, and I was able to find that. The arm that you can see with the hand, that is a separate reference. Unfortunately, the original reference, she didn't have her hand in the place that I wanted, or she kind of did, but she had really long nails on, so she couldn't make a fist. So I pulled up another reference and I placed it where I wanted it to go. And last but not least, I picked a beautiful face. I could not find what I was looking for the longest time, and I ended up looking for women jogging, and I was able to find this beautiful woman looking back with a big smile, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, something that I'm really looking for, if I'm looking for just the face part of a Frankenstein, is to try and get something that has a similar neck angle. The head is one thing. I do think that that's important as well, but the neck really helps, even if you have to kind of, you know, mess with the head a bit to make it work. I definitely think the neck is more important in this case, next to, of course, the reference and the emotion and whatever. So making a Frankenstein is something that I do incredibly often, and I think it's really great because I am not directly, you know, looking at someone else's artwork, and I'm not doing that pose. I definitely prefer real life pictures because, as I've said before, and as many say, once you know the rules, it's easier to break them. So I like to see real life photos. I like to see the anatomy of it, and I think it helps a lot. I really don't like looking at artwork as references. I just think that it is wonderful to have a reference of exactly what you are imagining. Now, obviously that's not going to happen every single time, but it definitely gets a lot closer than me scouring the interwebs for 3 days to look for the exact reference that I want. So my third and final thing is I will make a Frankenstein, and I absolutely love doing it. I share it with my patrons very often so they can kind of see, you know, what went into this and what thought process went into my drawing. I'm really proud of how Rogue turned out. She was a lot more detailed than I was expecting, considering she just has her glove, her suit, her jacket, and then her hair. So it was a lot more work than I was expecting, but I really hope you like it. Thank you so much for sticking around and listening. If you're still here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help keep me going each week. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!